Jim, after the Cup final a couple of years ago, what happened there last year, how much that mean to the side?
I think it's a real sense of relief to get over and win, and we were pleased to win last week's Mallinder, but I think this week was always at the top of the agenda. And I think it's fantastic for the club. You know, it's the first Premiership title, and particularly after coming close twice, as you say, last year in the Heineken Cup, it's a special moment.
Tom, you guys
I was at the bottom of the ruck, so I didn't know much about anything. I knew that if we had drawn, that we would have taken it on tries scored. We knew that. We didn't want the whole team to know that, because it changes your mindset, changes your approach a little bit. So the key men knew. We felt like we had Saracens on the rack. We always believe in ourselves towards the back end of games, fitness-wise. We could see them tiring. I mean, as we all were. To be fair, it was an intense game, but we always felt that was our edge, and as long as we were making ground and going forward, we were going to stick to that, and then it's up to the half-backs to make the decision when to pull the trigger.
Is there not a point where you wish that someone going back into the pocket though, knowing that you're going again and again and again with your perfect position to do points?
I think you've got to pick your moments, and it's when the half-backs are comfortable. You always run the risk the more phases you play of, a soft infringement like a sealing off penalty or an accidental offside or something like that. So you run the risk the more phases you play. But of course they're in the traps ready to get out and put pressure on the 10 as well. And as soon as you pull the trigger, you've got one shot. So as long as we're in ascendancy and still moving forward and still in a pretty tight group and in control, and I felt like we could have kept going. It's one of them. It's paid off.
Tom, at full time, what did it feel like? What was the moving count for you to go ahead into extra time?
What, between full time and extra time?
Yeah.
I still think the ball was in our court. I still think the advantage was with us, because you could see they'd thrown a lot into the first 80 minutes, as we all had. But as I say, I felt like our fitness has always been our advantage. I think we've proven that over the last couple of weeks. Something we've prided ourselves on, and something a real belief we've built. And as tired as we all were, we only had to look at them to lift ourselves and realise they were going through the same, if not worse. And as tough as it was to do an extra 20 minutes, probably literally the longest game we've ever played in, it was, I felt like it was ours to win.
Jim, you've been at the same for 7 years now. How special is that for you?
It's the best. It's way up there. It's why you come to a big club like Northampton to win trophies like this. And we've generally been on the up over those 7 years. I say we've had a couple of disappointments, but we always talked after the disappointments that when we won a big one, it would be sweeter, and it is.
Did the experience of last year help the team through that one?
I think probably the experience of playing in big games, and we're getting used to playing in big games. The senior internationals are playing more games here, and international rugby. And I think we've got 3 brilliant additions who actually joined the squad this year, and I think they've just added to the mix.
Jim, how do you celebrate this tonight?
I'm not too sure about that. I don't know what's gone on behind the scenes. We'd never talk about that. I certainly know that we will be having a few beers on the bus back to Northampton, and I would expect there'll be a few fans waiting to join us.
Do you think you tamed the Wolfpack today? You want to talk about their defence and run to it?
I think it was a real tight game between two good sides. I think at times our scramble defence was outstanding. They've got some big ball carriers who can get them on the front foot, and we had to fight really, really hard to keep them at bay. It was a close game. It could have gone either way. We know that, but sometimes you just need a little bit of luck in your side, and thankfully for us, we have that today.
Do you think psychologically that the fact that an extra day off from your recovery and the fact that you're on a high to play Saracens knows that losing and then playing the game?
I think that's a real difficult question to answer. I don't think anybody really knows the answer to that question. It's certainly helped us in the week. We've had good momentum. Our semi-final win against Leicester was massive for the belief of the team, knowing that we could come back from behind with 14 men and score tries and win the game. And I think we've taken that into last week, and now to get the double, it's an unbelievable feeling. And somebody said to me afterwards, why don't we go down to extra and win the LV and would have got the treble? But I think that's being a bit greedy.
It's fair to say that Saracens maybe thought that they didn't get the run with Green came to TMO for you.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's a clear try. As soon as the ball went down, it was never in doubt.
Talking maybe before that, the fact that your second try at TMO may have been a forward pass that wasn't commented on the try that they did score was then called back by TMO.
I think in a close game like that, you can always pick on one or two little decisions, which ifs and buts, and I think we can probably look at one or two where we thought we probably didn't get the bounce of the ball as well. So no, it was a close game, and we probably just edged it.
Anything else?
I've seen him jumping up and down in the changing room with a can of lager in his bad shoulder, so no, he's come through unscathed. So yeah, I think he'll be on the plane on Monday.
Just in terms of, sort of looking on, from last year to this year, I mean, it must be great, I suppose, for running from these things. What do you want to get back to?
Yeah, I think I said this time last year, obviously how disappointed we were, and nobody took it harder than Dylan. He's been the life and soul of our camp. He does a lot behind the scenes, and to have him back with us today, it's cruel on Ross McMillan, who's done a great job in his absence. But when you've got quality like Dylan around the squad, it does influence everybody, and it's been good to have him around the team, and his leadership coming off the bench and everything else. It certainly helps myself out, Phil Dowson, and everybody else as well. So. I'm pleased for Dylan that he's managed to experience that on the back of last year and kind of get that off his back a little bit.
Okay.
Can I just say, before we finish, sorry, I said this to ITV earlier, and I'd like to say it again if you don't mind. I'd like to dedicate the win to young Lewis. He was our mascot today. He's been around the squad for a number of weeks. He's been in a difficult position, suffering with bone cancer. Initially, we went to see him at hospital a couple of times, and he was. The intention was to go and pick his spirits up and help him through a difficult time, but actually on days like today, it's the extra sort of motivation and incentive, the pride I felt running out the tunnel with him at my side today, it was immense, and I guess it's little things like that that keep you going in the last few minutes in the real difficult moments. And also Leon Barwell, we did our best, obviously difficult circumstances last year to get it over the line and do it for him, who again, was fighting really hard to be there on the day, and I'd just like to thank the Barwell family for all of their efforts and their continued support, and just say that one was for you, Leon. It went to death, and as Jim said, it's fine margins, but I like to think that a little bit of that is down to the likes of Leon.
So how was Lewis?
How is Lewis?
How
He's just turning 13.
Yeah.
what's his name?
Lewis. It's Ghaut, I think, or maybe.
He's got osteosarcoma, which is a very rare bone disease, very rare bone cancer, and go to lu15.co.uk.
He also had a tumour removed from his lung in a pretty major operation earlier in the week. He was told that he wasn't going to be able to make the final. He was going to be in extensive sort of rehab process, but he told them to stuff that, and was out in record time in order to walk out on the field today. So, really humbled and by the likes of his support and continued support and the strength he shows. And it's as a professional rugby player, you sometimes get a little bit caught up in your own self-importance and everything else, and seeing somebody like him keeps you grounded and gives you the strength to keep going.
He's also a member of the Old Scouts Club as well, which is Northampton.
Awesome.
Can you have